Hello and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Psychology, the podcast, with me, Sarah Gregg, and I'm joined by my co-host, co-founder, the incredible, fabulous and always insightful Jill Ritchie.
Oh, what an intro. Thank you, Sarah, darling. It's so good to be here for another episode. I'm loving this. The new podcast. It feels so aligned. And exciting to bring this into 2025. And obviously we collaborated on my old podcast, my other podcast before, and the feedback was incredible. So it just feels so good to be having this space to talk about the wisdom, the insights and everything, intuition and psychology, to really put that out to people so that they can feel ultimately seen, heard, understood, and give them things to work on, right?
Yeah, and apply that wisdom. So we've got so many great episodes planned, and this one in particular is a great one because we're really going to focus on how to stand out in the wellness industry. So this is specifically for you if you are a space holder, maybe you're in breath work, you do yoga, cacao ceremonies, you are one of the incredible humans who are really engaged with your community. You do amazing work. We're just going to talk about how to amplify that work and share and reflect from our own expertise and years of being, in this industry, things that we're noticing that I think will be really helpful for you to bring your business to the next level and ultimately create more space for your clients, but also more space for yourself, because those of you that are practitioners on the ground, we see how hard that you work, how many classes you've got to run a day, the continual promotion. And we're excited to share some really insightful industry tips and insights to help you really step into your full potential.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's important to, like you said, you're acknowledging the work that people are doing. They're in this industry for the right reasons. They want to help people. They want to make a change, but also they can get a little bit frustrated because there is a lot out there, right? Every other ad that's coming at you, every sort of reel on social media. And it's like, how do I stand out in this really busy space? Because you're listening to this and you're maybe thinking, I've got something really good, really good here, but how do I get seen? How do I stand out in that industry? And we've been there before, Sarah. Like years ago, we had our own businesses, and I think it's fair to say we did well. Like we did well in our businesses, but something for me that I took on very early on. So when I was in corporate, so for those of you who don't know, and I know some people listening to this will know, I was in corporate for 21 years and in leadership for 18 years. I had kind of gone down that brainwashed path, right, of like, okay, I had to wear so many masks. I had so many stakeholders and a different sort of way of being for each one. And I kind of mastered that, right? So when I came out, I was exhausted. That exhausted me mentally, emotionally, physically. It impacted everything in my life. And I vowed when I went into the wellness space that I would not be someone other than myself. So I probably was like, right, I'm going all in with authenticity. I would come on social media and listen, I'm not saying everybody needs to do this, but that meant for me sometimes being in my pajamas with no makeup and looking like I'd been dragged through a hedge backwards. But that was my truth. And I wanted to show that normal mum life, that way of being where nothing, I thought I can't be polished all the time because that isn't real life. I think that can be an element. I also like to get glammed up and I like to look nice, but a lot of the time I look like Waynetta Slob, right? But that's real life. But what I did, see, by embodying that, Sarah, back then, I attracted the right people to me straight away, and it felt effortless. It felt effortless because by me being me, I attracted the right people into my life. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't have to be someone else. I don't have to be polished. I don't have to put on this mask because it gets to be easier. And I attracted clients. I had a 6-month wait list to work with me. because I was being me. And I'm like, oh my God, I get to be me and actually get to make money out of being me. Who knew, right? And so I want to just acknowledge that the biggest gift you can give to yourself is like, number one, are you being you? Because if you're trying to be what everyone tells you to be, now again, we've done this in our business, right? And it doesn't work. And you will look at people that are, in inverted commas, experts in the industry that tell you how you should, that works for them. That might not work for you, but you need to figure out who you are, what makes you happy, what you love doing, and do more of that. And the more that you start to be in your authenticity and show who you are and learn what is it you want to learn? What is it you want to create? And actually master that, the rest I'm not saying it's always easy, right? Because there's work involved, but it should start to flow a hell of a lot more easier than you pushing a door that says pull.
Yeah, and it's not easy. Like, just as I kind of like hear you talk, I mean, first of all, amazing, right? I'm sure a lot of people will be like, oh, I wish I could do that. And I know for me, I certainly brought elements of that, but there was a much more of a nervousness, I would say, much more of a nervousness. And I don't know whether that's because, if you don't know my background, I'm a published author, psychologist, have worked in corporate for a very long time. Last job was, with a big kind of university in the UK. And still my client base, even when I moved, more to selling on social media, were still high professionals, corporates, universities, and I didn't feel like I could bring my full self to that. Yeah. And I think I danced around the middle for a long time until I could find that flow and really speak my truth, and also to understand how much of the truth that somebody gets from you. Because I think often when we hear authenticity, we think, well, certainly I internalized, and I don't know if you'll relate if you're listening to this, I internalized, does that mean that I've got to share everything? And if I don't share everything, am I being kind of inauthentic? And as I, grew on social media and took those small steps, you realize that you can be authentic, but that doesn't mean giving all of yourself away to everyone. There are parts that still get to be reserved for you, and that's okay. But certainly what sells and attracts people to you is the connectedness and is the relatability. And I think in the wellness sector, we actually had a conversation with someone recently who's in the wellness space. They organise a huge festival, which we are a part of in 2025. And they were saying, they want to bring more vulnerable, relatable stories into that sector, because let's face it, I think so many of us, when we're in the wellness sector, feel that pressure to have it all figured out. And we think, oh, people will come to us because I'm a knowledge expert and I can take away their pain point. And if you come to me, you get all of these results and all of your pain will be removed. And I know that I've got to market to you in that way, even though I know that I'm still figuring my stuff out in the background. But this sales process works, so I've got to do that. And actually what happens is, we lose that connection to ourselves and others because we are wearing that mask then, whether you're on social media, whether however you attract in your clients, we put this huge pressure on ourselves to be these perfect human beings who have life completely figured out and can't possibly show our clients that actually we're vulnerable and we're human. But as your example, and as I shared my own authenticity, on my platform, I attracted in highly successful, predominantly women, highly successful women. I attracted in big corporates that I worked with because they were related to that, because they could see themselves through my story. And at the Intuitive Psychology Association, the way we train our coaches, we'll say this to them. We don't want you to be a sage on the stage or even a guide on the side. Like, we want you to be a coach in conscious connection. And I think to stand out in the wellness industry is to remove yourself from all of that noise and that pressure to have to say what everyone else is saying and churning out the same stuff and the same promises, and actually really get back to the core of like, what is your unique offering? What makes you unique in this space? What makes you uniquely placed? What is your story? What brought you to this point? How can your clients identify with yourself in that story? How can you really normalize the fact that this is a journey.
Yes.
This is a continual journey and a continual evolution.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to mention. It's your authenticity is so unique to you, and it changes, because as you grow and as you expand and evolve, well, I've said this time and time again, your nature, right? You're always changing and evolving. So something that was relevant to you or you felt 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 6 years ago, it shouldn't be the same. Because if you are leaning into consciousness and you are speaking your truth and leaning into that more, you will inadvertently not be the same as you were a few years ago. But that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
That's such a good thing.
And I think that's a really important point for anyone in the wellness industry, ourselves included. You know, we're here to make the world a better place. I know that sounds really corny and cheesy, but, you know, better humans create better worlds, and we carve out this proportion of our work that we do with that intention. But yet the way that we are often taught to sell just creates more of the problem, because we're selling people this illusion that they can be perfect, and if they just work with us, they'll never ever experience pain or discomfort again. And all we're doing is adding to the problem. We're setting an unrealistic expectation on ourselves and for our clients. And I think there's a way to really promise results and acknowledge that they will change and they will be different and you'll move them forward, but not that it will always be like that, and to remove that pressure and like really allow professionals in this space to be themselves and to not put that heavy expectation on themselves or on their clients either.
I get it. Yeah, for sure. And I think it's important then, as we're saying that, to recognise, number one, are you doing that? Are you in that space where you are? And that's the thing. It never feels good, because you end up copying what other people are doing, because you're like, well, I need the sales, I need to live. But you feel like there's a real jar there, because you're so out of integrity with yourself that you don't enjoy it. You stop actually enjoying your business. And just really recognising, you know, I got into this industry for X reason, however, I'm starting to feel this. And this is why it's really important that you do your own work. Consciousness has evolved so much, but it is time to step up. If you are in this wellness space, are you the embodiment of the work that you teach? So if you're teaching about health, if you are teaching about mindset, inner work, are you the embodiment of it? Because for me, that is a fundamental core part of being number one in the industry for the right reasons now and standing out, because it is a busy industry. And if you want to stand out, you need to be the embodiment of what you talk about and what you teach. How important do you think that is, Sarah?
Really, really, really important. For a couple of reasons. One, you're holding a lot of space for people, like a lot of space. You can, you know, if you're in this industry, the chances are that you are quite a sensitive person, really in tune with energy. And so you can feel that energy, you can feel the energy of a group, of your clients, and you're holding that. And often in the wellness industry, we put our self-mastery last, because all of our focus, because, you know, goes on clients.
Yeah.
Goes on clients. So we get into this industry normally because we've done an element of the work.
Yeah.
We have experienced a modality that has really deeply connected with us, created our own transformation in our own lives. We then train in that modality. We want to share it with others and bring our own kind of uniqueness to it. And then we give so much of that away that we forget about ourselves in the process. And when we're serving from that place, serving and selling from that place of depletion, you can feel the frustration from people. You can feel the lack and fragmentation. Like, we listened to someone that we really admire on social media the other day on an Instagram live, and you could just tell the message was so fragmented. There was a panic energy there, and you can feel people's energy whenever you sell. So the self-mastery piece is so important, because there will be unseen blockers to your business and to your own personal growth. And it's also important for this reason. As you grow, your business will grow. Maybe you've outgrown an element of your business. Like maybe you've started out kind of like doing yoga, Pilates, some form of movement. Maybe you started out being like a coach and you got a traditional, you know, life coach certification, but now your practice has gone deeper. Now you've changed. You know, now you kind of have this new awareness of that has more depth, that isn't just about setting the actions and getting the results. You're aware that there's more to you, and there's more that you can give. And I always think that that is a time for you to channel that. Yeah. That's a time for you to really take yourself to the next level. But that can be scary. Like in our own businesses, we carved out specific niches. People were really familiar with what we talked about. And each time that we grew, our offering and product had to change as we changed. And it can be really scary to do that, because you're like, oh, well, I don't want to disengage my existing audience, and what if people don't come with me, and what if this doesn't work? But again, coming back to the original point, how do you stand out, is authenticity, is self-mastery, and is allowing yourself to evolve and offer more to the space as your awareness expands and grows.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing that you say as your awareness expands and grows, that is the key, to actually allow yourself to unfold, to do your own inner work, to realise that you mentioned blockers there, and that can come up, you know. And if you are someone who holds a space, and perhaps a client comes to you and you're like, okay, there's something going on there, but I don't feel equipped to support that person. That can feel really, number one, disempowering for you and your client. It starts to become less enjoyable. You don't feel like you're doing the best for them or yourself. And so understanding yourself and being the embodiment of the work you teach allows you to then go in and comfortably hold that space for a client's discomfort, to see actually what's underneath the surface. Imagine if you could really hold that beautiful space for your client and take them somewhere that no one's ever been able to take them, and get a result that you know you're capable of, but you feel like reading a book or listening to a podcast isn't enough. What's stopping you studying it? What's stopping you going that extra mile and learning? Because everything's changing all the time. You do need to keep up. Like, we're always evolving the business, right? And you need to move with it, or you're going to stagnate and you're going to get left behind. And that's quite brutal, but it's truth, right?
Yeah, it is truth. And I think this is one of the big reasons why we created our new certification, which is the fundamentals. And this is really a certification for anyone that is in the wellness industry space, or, you know, is curious about coaching. Because often we view the work that we do as separate. And many people think, oh, well, I don't want to be a coach. You know, I want to be a breathwork instructor, and I'm really good at yoga or Pilates or holding a women's circle or cacao ceremonies, you know, and I don't want to transition just to being a coach. And the fundamentals is really about showing that you probably already are, in a lot of ways, an unpaid therapist or coach, because your clients come to you. You already know that your offering is great and brilliant, and you're really skilled in the expertise that you have. You know, maybe you're in the fitness industry, for example, and you can see, like, and you're great at what you do. Maybe you're a nutritionist, but you can see underneath, you know, your client needs more, and you're signposting out potential income opportunities for yourself as well. You're also given a lot of your time away in an unpaid capacity to hold that space. What if you could, not for all of your clients because they won't need it, not every client will need it, but let's say breath work, for example. Maybe you're working with, you know, high performing men, women suffering from burnout, who have highly dysregulated nervous systems, who, you know, the breath can really instantly help with and bring those new insights. But you also know that there's a root cause and need underneath that, something that's driving them to reach that burnout stage. What if you could work with both for those clients that really needed it? What if you could hold some sessions, and then also for the clients who are coming to you who need more support, more time, more space, what if you could charge for that? Still maintaining your role within your expertise, again, with nutrition and exercise. If you know that your client is continually self-sabotaging, that impacts you and the results that you can get in your business. What if you could help them go deeper to really understand what emotional patterns are at play and get paid for that? And this is what the fundamentals is for. And I really believe that this is how you stand out in the wellness industry, because like Jill said, consciousness has evolved and expanded. Our clients are so well educated when they come to us. They know about trauma, they know about emotional responses, they know about triggers. There's a level of self-awareness there. And clients demand more, and action alone isn't enough. So what if you could fuse your expertise, your excellent expertise on the action that person needs to take, and couple it with, for those clients that need it, the awareness piece to help them more effortlessly take that action and get paid for it, so that you then carve out another income stream in your business, which ultimately creates more space for you. This isn't about adding something additional in. This is about taking something else away, so that you're not continually in that cycle of selling X amount of spaces, in a class or in a program. Actually, what if you could decrease those number of classes and increase the number of one-to-ones that you can give? Because we can charge more for our time in that one-to-one capacity. We can charge more whenever we are skilled, especially in intuitive psychology coaching, to really get those rapid results by working actively with intuition. What if you could do that for your client? How does that change things for your business? How does that differentiate you from others in the space? Combine that with your authenticity, your message, your personal story. And you've got this perfect combination, and the self-mastery piece as well, because the reason we don't take time for self-mastery is we don't have time, because we're so depleted at the end of the day from giving to others.
I love that. And you're right. People get so depleted, and the resentment comes in. Work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Work smarter, not harder, and have the confidence, because you might think but it's so important to get the proper qualification in this. I think so many people will listen to a podcast, read a book, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm trauma informed. No, please never do that, because your client's nervous system is so unique to them. And if you are not equipped to work with that client in that capacity, you can do so much harm. So it's so important. And I know when we were putting this together, Sarah, we're accredited by the AC. We have a really successful diploma. We take people through this every year. We're only one of 11 in the world to accredit to that level in diploma. It could have been easy for us just to put out a certification. We didn't. We put this application to the Association for Coaching. We wanted it accredited. We want people to come to train properly, to feel like, this adds so much, not only to my clients, but to me as a human being, and giving me that confidence to put my stake in the ground, to stand out in my industry, and to offer something that my peers don't offer.
Yeah. And this is really, so we have two offerings. We have our advanced accredited diploma, and that's really for people who want to focus and have an advanced competency in intuitive psychology coaching. And then the fundamentals, which is our new certification, which is launching in 2025. This is really for you if you want to go beyond your peers, if you want to add something into your offering that ultimately gives you back more space, more time, more income, and helps you stand out. The fundamentals is perfect for that. It's a 3-month certification. We give you a beautiful coaching model and method, which is all about working with intuition, working with your clients to activate and apply their intuition and to gain that insights that can really sit well with your current offering. Or if you don't have an offering and you're thinking, I want to be in the wellness industry and I feel so attracted to it, and I want to be a coach and I want to coach in some capacity, but I'm thinking right now for me that maybe looks like something part-time, and I want to I'm just not quite sure if it's for me, then the fundamentals is also perfect for you, because it will give you a strong foundation that is significantly different from other life coach certifications out there. You're not a life coach when you train with us. You're an intuitive psychology coach. You're accredited by the global body, the Association for Coaching. This will give you the skills and the confidence to really begin to work with clients. Unlike our diploma, you won't go as deep because your competencies won't move to that level, but you'll have the core competencies that will enable you to get results faster than other people, that will help you stand out in this noisy, busy industry, and will elevate your expertise in the field. You'll be able to combine this with what you're doing already, and it's such an exciting time for us, as the Intuitive Psychology Association, and we want to really bring in people to this fundamentals who are in the industry for the right reason, who want to deeply serve their clients in a more powerful way, to add to their offering, to combine this with their existing expertise so that they can really utilize a multimodality approach that really benefits not only them in their lives, but also their clients.
Yeah, and have that accredited qualification. It's not just, I certify you in. And I want to say to anyone that is thinking about doing something to elevate their expertise, really do your research, because so many people can say that they're accredited or they're certified, but a lot of it is made up. So really do your homework. Who are they accredited by? Who certifies them? So, and that's why it is important for us. We do everything with that sort of level of detail. We talked about self-mastery, and that is something that you will learn in the fundamentals as well. When we were putting this together, Sarah, it was so important for us, because we know in the diploma, everyone that goes through the diploma goes on their own journey, and it is they become the embodiment, the full embodiment of this work, of this deep intuitive work. And so we said we have to have this in the fundamentals, because the self-mastery piece is allowing you to really go on your journey and give you that confidence to stand out in the space, not just from a place of, okay, I've studied this, I've learned it, and that's me, I'm good to go. It's so different when you are the embodiment of the work versus you study the work, right? That's so important. We weave that in. So that's a huge part of it, which is great, because the self-mastery piece is like, wow, how much can I really learn about myself, and how big can I go, and how much more can I expand in all aspects and areas of my life. And that's what you will get with the fundamentals. The self-mastery piece is so beautiful.
And that is really been the key to us growing our previous businesses and then this existing one. Do you know, often like we're coming up for being 2 years old in 2025, and we have achieved huge growth within those 2 years. You know, we've been a Fern Cotton's Happy Place twice, Chris Evans Car Fest, we ran big retreats in Ibiza, we have students all over the world from Berlin to Bahrain, we've got students in Australia, America. Like, our reach has been really significant. And now we've got an additional product offering, and people will say to us like, wow, like, how did you do all that in a couple of years? The answer is the self-mastery.
Yes.
The more we have grown as individuals and a team together, the more our business has grown. Yeah. The more we have gotten out of our own way and allowed ourselves to go, actually, I have the self-belief, I can do that, I can let go of these limiting self-constructs, I can step out of that fear, imposter syndrome, judgment. That has been the absolute 100%. Fuel to our business growth. And that's why it's included, not only for, we don't have to include it, but we include it because we want you to love your business. Yeah. We want you to grow in your business. We want you to make that impact that you know that you're here to make. You're probably doing it and you're doing well, and you're wondering, how do I expand? Well, if I do expand, I've got to run more classes, take more clients, have more sessions. There is a different way.
Yes.
It's not about you changing who you are. It's about you adding something in, and about going, okay, here's something that I can give to those clients who need it, that, you know, 40, 30 you know, that maybe just want that deeper level of work with you, the fundamentals is ideal for that. And it really is that personal and professional journey.
Beautiful. And it's the time back. Like, I know so many people in the wellness space that are, again, we talk about, they're here for all the right reasons, but they're so burnt out.
Yeah.
They're so burnt out. And it's like, and then they feel an imposter because they're not walking the talk that they teach.
Yeah.
With the self-mastery piece, you will learn to really cultivate a practice that is unique to you and that helps you amplify your business. It does. When we say we add something in, but we add it in so that it can take away all of the things that are not for you, that are no longer aligned to you, and you create a space, a business, a life that you enjoy, that you can actually have more time back, more time freedom. Everyone wants more time. We're like, there's no time. Right, well, actually, you need this. You need this because you need to learn how to create more time, more space, and do the things that you love.
Yeah.
And get the results ultimately, so that you're not constantly having to promote. I mean, we've got students, well, they're not even students anymore, right? They're graduates. They were graduated like less than a month, fully booked. And it was like word of mouth, like word of mouth. They're running retreats abroad and in the UK.
TED Talks.
They're doing TED Talks.
Published books.
And like literally within like weeks, months of graduating, because they were the embodiment of the work. They worked with clients, and it's word of mouth. They're like, I've got another client. I've got this, I've got that. I mean, that lights us up, because that's how it should be. It should never feel forced, because when you start to force something, you compromise your authenticity. We've done it before and it never works. You feel like dog turd. And let's sort of just circle back round to the fundamentals, because it's for me, it's what people in the wellness space need. It is not just for someone who does X or Y. We have created this training and this accreditation to fit into your niche. So if you are PT, breathwork, cacao, space holder, yoga, or if you're brand new to coaching, or maybe you've dabbled with coaching before, but you know you want to go deeper, but you're not ready to do the diploma, this is for you. This is for you. Our waitlist is open.
It is open. And we cannot wait to hear from you. Like, if this is really resonating with you on that, like, in your body kind of level, and you're like, I need that. Like, give yourself permission to kind of move forward into that space, because not only does it benefit you, but it benefits your clients as well. You know, when I know we perform our best whenever we have the time and space, like how you show up for your business, for yourself, for your family. And that's what we're all here to do. Yeah. That ripple effect that you'll create is amazing. And that additional offering really does kind of like give you something back as well.
Yeah, and you're not depleted anymore, exhausted and burning out. We're saying no to burnout for 2025. We have something that will super support you with it. So we will drop all of the links for the fundamentals for the waitlist, which is open right now, and applications will... So get on the wait list right now if you're listening to this. If you're listening to this after the 25th of January, then applications are open. We start towards the end of February. So get your application in, or the wait list. We will drop the link in the show notes. But there's lots of information on the website as well. We cannot wait to see you.
We cannot wait. And just if you're listening to this significantly after that point, then head on over to the website, because we'll be opening this throughout the year. So there'll be a couple of opportunities to join the fundamentals, and we can't wait to get your application in and really support you and your clients and take your business to the next level.